proudest day and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears, the Rally podcast, Season 3, Episode 36. And we're going to talk rallying once again, Connor. And I suppose before we start, it'd be very important that people can like and share, and if they give us either a comment or even a 5-star review. All those things make a huge difference. But yeah, we didn't really get a chance to chat properly last week. The Ulster Rally, you know, what a fantastic rally, and we'll catch up with Mikie, Galvin and Andy Hayes from it. And then this weekend coming up, we have the Rali Ceredigion, round of the ERC, the BRC, and almost a round of the ITRC. They have a good few of our crews over there. And also Galway Summer is the penultimate round of the Tritonshires National Championship as well too. So we talked to Kevin O'Driscoll about that. So the Ulster Rally, Connor, I suppose we should start there. You know, a couple of weeks ago now, you know, the penultimate round of the ITRC, we thought it might kind of shape where the championship was going, but not really.
Yeah, it didn't reveal a lot, I suppose. One thing was removing Matt, you know, from the main fight very early on, but you know, we thought it might have defined things, but we're going to be down to the wire in Cork.
Yeah, I can see this going down to the last stage. You know, just you know, kind of my way of reading it is if Callum won as long as Cronin finished second, he wins the championship. If Cronin finishes below second, you know, Callum takes it. It's, you know, there's going to be so many permutations. It's just going to be it's going to be very, very interesting. You know, you know, the Ulster itself was kind of like almost a lottery at times because the tires, like half stages dry, half wet. You know, there was no perfect tire. There was no wrong tire either. At the same time, it was a tough, challenging day.
It was tough. It was tricky. A word that gets thrown around a lot, but it really was. Like, you know, when you went over those stages, the mixture and the changes in the asphalt, throwing into the weather conditions on top of that. Also, you know, lanes in round farmers, you know, yards and stuff. There was muck and things in places as well. And, you know, but conditions that suited Keith Cronin. He revels in those tricky conditions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he just took advantage of it as well too. You know, maybe flashes of something coming now with the Citroen. Josh set a fastest time. James Ford set a fastest time. You know, so is the Citroen finally? You know, are we seeing light at the end of the tunnel there? You know, hopefully that will be. If that can happen, there's 2 more names that's going to get thrown into the mix now as well.
Yeah, interesting to see, you know, is it the development of the Citroen, or, you know, is it maybe those roads or the makeup of the roads suited the Citroen better? Because if you look back to the circuit, you know, Josh also had a podium in the circuit as well in the Citroen. So, you know, I'd be curious to see, you know, was it the roads and the conditions, or is it more the Citroen is starting to come to the fore again?
It could be possibly a wee bit of both because you know they were quite flat stages. You know, there weren't a lot of really bump. Well, there was a lot of bumps, but not so much maybe jumps and things like that. So maybe it could be a wee mixture of both there. But yeah, like it'd be good to see the Citroen cracking the Irish tarmac to the same level as the Fiesta and I was going to say the Polo, but the Skoda as well too. You know, like so. Yeah, because like the amount of Citroens there's about it would be. It definitely would be a very welcome addition to see them up at the top of the leaderboard once again, you know. So,
yeah, look, we're always looking for variety, and you know, we're always looking for something, you know, and a challenge coming from left field a bit as well. So, look, the more that's in the mix, the better. And speaking of the Skoda, you know, Callum's only going to settle into that car more and more. You know, there's plenty more to come. Like, it was only his second outing really in that car, and you know, still playing around. And again, conditions that probably they weren't as familiar with the setup on the Skoda as well. So if it had been perfectly dry, it might have been different, but they were having to change and adjust throughout the day, you know, what they were doing with that Skoda as well to get it to sit and suit the conditions.
that's for sure, that's for sure. Oh, and before we go any further, I was chatting to the Chief Marshal just at the finish of the event, and he wanted me to give a big shout out to all the stage commanders and all the marshals on the event. You know, like there was a lot of manpower there on the ground on the Saturday. and each and every one of them was just how well they done their job, and it was so welcome and great to see, and lovely to see the respect that a lot of the competitors, there's a wee video going around there, and all the competitors thanking the marshals and all too. Nice touch by the club there as well.
Yeah, lovely touch. And I have to say, I haven't gone out and spectated on the event. I thought it was a very well run, very well organized event. It went smoothly, fantastic setup and service, nice loops the way they did it as well, and very easy to get around and spectate on.
Yeah, and even talking to some of the crews, like they love the challenge. They don't want an easy day. Like there were some of them saying, like, and I think Andy refers to it, like as there's a one-day event really belonging to the championship, but that was a hard, tough rally as well. 10 stages in, but there was just, as you said earlier, everything in those stages, like tight stuff, twisty stuff, fast stuff, it was all there. And like the drivers and the crews just really seemed to enjoy the challenge that the Ulster provided.
Yeah, look, those stages were fairly technical, and the crews had to work for it. They really did. There was no kind of anywhere on those stages you could, lift it off and coasted, or put the foot to the floor and coasted. It was you had to be on it, and we saw, what happened to Matt. It didn't take much, and there's the top competitor caught out.
Yeah, I think it's 6 or 8 inches, nothing. And it's the difference between being on the pace and being off the road. Really, we always say it's a fine line.
Yeah, it is a fine line, and it was really proved. Somebody at Matt's level went so early, but again, that was just the nature of the event. You had to be on it. It was fast from the get go, but you had to be paying attention.
Yeah, and like the two boys will mention it as well. Like stage one, top four crews, .8 of a second between the top four. Like that's unreal. Like it's fantastic for us spectators, but like it's just unreal.
Yeah, I know it is. Like to come out of the traps, at that level of competitiveness on the first stage of the day, like it really is fantastic.
Yeah, like it was 9 minutes something or other. Like it wasn't a short stage either, But come here. There's no point in us telling you all about it. Let's hear from Mikie, Galvin, and Andy. Is
Yeah. Ulster was good the weekend. It was a good one for us to get. It's going to help us a lot for the year, but it's no, it's not over. I think some people actually think that it was over. I've had people message and say, "Oh, very good, the championship," and like the championship is not finished at all. So we had a few ups and downs. It kind of took a bit of an S curve there through the year. A couple of wins at the start, then some bad luck, and we're back on the train of luck now again. So we've Cork in a few weeks, and I think if we can finish second behind Callum, it's good news for us. But easier said than done. It's not over till it's over by any means.
that's for sure. And Andy, for yourselves, like Ulster, there was a lot of promise. There was a couple of unfortunate moments as well, but things may be starting to come good in the Citroen.
Yeah, definitely felt like it anyway. It's funny kind of feeling leaving it. On one hand, you're very happy with the kind of pace, which is the main thing, because all year it's been a little bit lacking in the Citroen. And now all of a sudden you're back on the pace, and you're able to win a stage and that kind of stuff against the lads when everyone's still racing. But then, of course, you're disappointed then with the result overall. Kind of what could have been maybe. A couple of small mistakes, kind of uncharacteristic mistakes. And then just a puncture as well, which is just unlucky, I suppose.
Yeah, and can you feel that in the car that the newfound confidence that the whatever it is, it's all just probably very fine margins. Is it obvious from the passenger seat as well?
Yeah, it's probably obvious even Kevin, even outside the car, even it's just when we tested there before the rally, and it just went well, and he felt good after it, and felt like, actually, yeah, you know what, this is right, as opposed to other rallies maybe you do the test and you kind of feel like, I don't think the car's really right, and you're almost on the back foot before you even start. So this time it felt good before the rally even started, and then the minute you get onto stage one and it just starts to flow, and everything's much easier. I know I'm sure it'll say the same thing. When one small thing goes wrong, it kind of has a knock-on effect, whatever it might be, And what we were finding was that if the car wasn't handling right, it was kind of affecting the flow, and it was causing other problems, and the whole thing was just kind of turning to be a disaster. Whereas straight away, as soon as the car was right, and everything was just flowing, it just made the whole weekend so much easier.
Yeah, because it's like everything else in life, if things is right from the start, it just makes everything just goes well. Again, you could almost see the way that Josh got his swagger back after the stone throwers. Just
Yeah.
maybe it took that day in the Hyundai just to maybe settle them and think maybe actually the Citroen's maybe in a better place than I thought really as well. I was taking the one as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's a lot for his head anyway, just to say, okay, well, no, I haven't lost it here. I'm still well able to
Yeah.
compete and we're able to win, and everything. Nothing's changed really since last year with myself and my driving, and really, like it's really just the case of, and people kind of say, oh, is there something wrong with the Citroen? And oh, there's nothing wrong with it. I think Michael said the same. Like all the cars are very equal, and there's very little in it, and really it's down to just the setup and getting it really right and getting it exactly right for the driver. So, like, I'm sure, other drivers have got the setup right, particularly in the WRC and stuff, to suit them, and it's perfect. It's just, I suppose, we struggled to get a bit of a setup for Josh the way he drives a car. He had it perfect in the Hyundai. Now he's just trying to get it perfect in the Citroen. So it's definitely an awful lot better than it was in that sense. And to be fair, Josh and Tom Gahan have worked together all year on trying to get it right. The exact same thing happened with the Hyundai when we got it. I think we did around 13 or 14 rallies in Hyundai before we won one, something like that. I think the first win in it could have been Wexford 2021 after buying the car in January 2020. So nearly 2 years. And I actually think it's around the same now with the Citroen. It's around the same at the time. That same number of rallies, actually, I think so. You'd like to think now that it's coming around right now. So hopefully it just bodes well for the rest of the year and maybe into next year.
Because Mikie, we've talked before, and we've always said like rallying now, everyone's just so precise, so exact. Everyone's just on a knife edge, and it's only 1 or 2% either way, and can just tip it.
Yeah, no, I don't think people realize how on the edge the whole thing is. I know I've said it before. I'm like a broken tape now at this stage, but it really has gone to a place where everything is maxed out. I mean, it's already at 100%. So speed wise, if there's something on the road or whatever, you go over that 100%, you're off the road. Possibly in a big way. But it's interesting what Andy said there. I actually didn't realize that you had that struggle with the Hyundai as well. I feel like that car came and you were just dominating from the start. It's amazing how time flies by. But the cars are quite equal. I'd imagine. The Skoda now has probably brought something else that we don't know about yet. That Callum's probably keeping under wraps. But it looks like a fantastic car. The Fiesta has been fantastic all year for us. Maybe we haven't just nailed it on the gravel yet. The last few gravel rallies have been a little bit frustrating. The Grampian was an okay result for us, but it could have been better. Maybe the feeling just wasn't there. But then come to Ulster and the Fiesta felt amazing. So, don't know where I went with that question. I forget what the question even
But do
was.
you feel that that towards the end of the Grampian, the times were starting to come real sharp and right mixing it with Ingram and these guys?
Yeah.
Maybe it's just lack of time in the gravel. Is it just getting the confidence up in the gravel?
I was talking to Keith about this at the start of the year. If you actually clocked up the amount of gravel miles that we have done and he has done, say, in an R5 car, all the gravel miles that he has done in an R5 car, I've been there for almost all of them. It's actually not that much. 2017, we did a couple of rallies. A lot of them didn't go great, but we won the championship. Then there was 18, 19 was very, very little. So if you were to tot it all up, it's actually very little. The Polo was probably the best that it was in the last 7 or 8 years. The Polo was quite good in 22 and 23, but 22 was quite good. But we'll keep working on it. We've another gravel rally to go this year, so we'll try and just get it nailed for the next one.
Connor, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Mikey, we saw how tricky the conditions were over the weekend between showers and, the constantly changing asphalt as well on very tight technical stages, especially with Matt going out in the third stage. How, you're pushing to win, but obviously you're very conscious then a narrow margin and you could be out. Like, what's that like in the car trying to balance that?
Yeah, it was a shock to see Matt off, but to be honest, it didn't change a whole pile for us. We still had to keep pushing quite hard because Callum was going to push us quite hard. I mean, what was it, Andy? Was it 0.8 separating four of us? on the first stage.
Top 4, stage 1, yeah. Very
I mean,
close to stage 1.
that was I forget what the time was, but it was 9 minutes something.
Yeah.
Separating 4 cars. I mean, that's unbelievable stuff. 0.8. So that's the small margins we were on about there earlier. That's just unbelievable. And it's not like they were basic stages, just big straights. This was corner after corner. I mean, every stage that I had was at least 22 or 23 pages, and they weren't even that long. You know what I mean? They were just such busy stages, but I did enjoy them an awful lot. So trying to balance that was it was tricky, but we were in a really good rhythm. The big thing for us was not to get a puncture, not to make a mistake, because that mistake was going to finish the rally, because everything is so tight. So we were making sure, in the recce, we were looking at stuff so closely, because we've had a couple of punctures during the year. A puncture destroyed Clarny for us. We were like, we just cannot get a puncture. Yeah, they can happen out of nowhere. We were like, we cannot make a mistake and this rally and go in too tight to something and hit something, because it was mirror to mirror and there was rocks all in the banks. If you were to touch one of them, you could just nip it. So it was just staying out of trouble, keep the rhythm. We put quite a lot of work into the notes, and he just drove to the notes, and they worked. And on a lot of rallies like that, the rhythm is just everything, and just stay out of trouble, and then the result will hopefully come.
And Andy, for yourself and Josh, you were talking there about trying to get the setup right and get more comfortable with the C3. Was it a case that you had a setup in mind for the start of the rally, or Josh did, or was it constantly tweaking still throughout the event?
Yeah, and Tom made a few changes to the car before the event since Donegal, where he kind of, I suppose, went a different direction altogether with the way we have been going. And that, even as a base, was a very good start. So straight away, I think we were within that 0.8 of the leader on the first stage. And then even on stage 4, I think we won it. So in the morning, definitely we were going well. We would be tweaking the car all day as well as the day went on, because of the way the rally was laid out. You had plenty of services and plenty of chances to tweak it. And the pace probably dropped off a bit in the afternoon, but that was as much as to do with the fact that we were kind of in a distant third, with a big gap in front of us, a big gap behind us anyway. So little bit hard to tell then really whether things were getting better or worse as the day went on. But yeah, for sure, Conor, to answer the question, yeah, big change before the rally, and then just tweaking with all day then since. And I think Tom would be kind of confident that there's a couple more tweaks to do again before the next event, and try and get that a little bit closer. It is, as Mikie said, it is very, very fine margins, and it's just really a case of anyone that watches any clips will see Josh kind of likes the car to move at high speed, and it's just to get the car kind of in a position where it'll do that without being unpredictable, or without firing you off the road, to let the car just slide and move, which, to be fair, is probably the opposite of what the car would have been designed for initially. Obviously designed and tested initially by the factory on French tarmac, very smooth tarmac. They'd be looking for more of a racing car type setup, where the car would be very solid on the road and very smooth tarmac, no bumps. So you're taking the car and trying to do something fundamentally different with it. So it does take a bit of time to get that right.
I'd imagine it's harder and harder now to make that happen, because the tires now are so good and everything is so good. You can go so fast. So yeah. I'd imagine it's getting harder and harder to get that feeling of a car moving at high speed.
Yeah, it seems to be, Mike. Right? Yeah, it's just maybe. Obviously, with the old Fords, maybe with Mark 1 R5s, it seemed to be natural back then. A little bit harder to get it with the Hyundai, and now it seems to be even harder again with the Citroen. Yourself, it's that fine balance. You want it to move a little bit and be predictable, but then if it moves too much, it frightens you. And if it doesn't move initially and then suddenly moves, it frightens you as well. So it's so hard just to get that kind of smooth kind of move in it. So I look at it, I think it's definitely not better. It's probably not there just yet, but we definitely felt better anyway.
It's getting way faster though, isn't it? Everything is getting faster.
It is too, yeah. Absolutely, I think so. Anyway, some people disagree and say that it was just as fast years ago, but I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
No.
Like you're at some of those stages there, like, and it was the same in Donegal even, like sometimes you're coming off the stage and like you're kind of going, look, that was close on perfect as you get. There was nowhere where, you know, he misheard a note or the note was a bit slow or whatever, nowhere where we break too early, nowhere where he missed a gear or you know, nothing like that. And you're coming off stages like that, and as you said, it might get in, you're coming off and there's 1 or 2 seconds in it, like that's what it is. Whereas a few years ago, I think if you had a stage like that, you know, you could have won the stage by 6 or 7 seconds or something like that, maybe, you know. You just, it's not often now you're seeing. I know yourself and Keith have a bit of a habit of putting in a kind of one of those bonsai laps every now and again, like, you know, where you go, I know, completely batshit. Excuse the language. And Callum has a bit of a habit of doing it every now and again as well, you know. But other than that, generally, just I see the stages are very, very close, aren't they?
Yeah.
International as well as the tarmac, to be fair.
And like,
National
see
super
that first stage when you're coming off it, and like, yes, we're running fourth in the road there, and like, you see the times of the other 3 guys. What's the conversation like when it's 0.8 of a second between 4 crews there?
It's just the usual. It's the Killarney Mafia have it again. Mikie and Moriarty,
Yeah, like you know, to be honest, we probably don't even talk about it. Like we're just having the crack, just kind of settling down for a couple of minutes because you haven't got much time to get your head relaxed before you go into the next one. But the crack is good though, isn't it? You know, the crack is super over here. Like, you know, there's great banter.
I don't know. For us, probably, Kevin, we probably just looked at each other and went, "Okay, that's good anyway. At least we're on the pace anyway." You know,
We're happy as well there. No.
yeah, we're happy enough. Like, say, yeah, we're on the pace and we're thereabouts. Kind of. It was one of those times where you can look at you and, yeah, okay, right, that's a good start anyway. Because you know you're nervous. You're kind of coming off it, and I don't know, Mikey, what you felt about it, but I definitely felt there was a lot more time in there. It didn't feel that fast, if you know what I mean, the very first stage.
Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, it was a safe run.
Yeah,
enough for us too. And he was just like, you know, if he's within reach and the first one, he's usually happy.
Yeah.
Because it is a bit of a kick in the arse if you're down by a lot in the first one. It's hard because, you know, but the fact that we came off and they said that, you know, it's only 0.8 and it was just stayed the same feed, and he was like, I'm happy with that. That's fine because I was safe and I'm in ballpark.
And then
I think that's it.
Yeah, and do the belts get pulled that wee bit tighter then going into the next stage because it's so tight that you think we're going to have to go for it a wee bit harder this time?
Jesus, the belts are always squeezed tighter now. There's no difference between one stage to the next with those belts. They're just pulled out of the buckles.
I have to try and fit in to keep Moriarty's belts, so they're always tight on me anyway.
But we mentioned before we come on air, like the way that the rally flowed, it was so natural. Like, you know, it was kind of off one stage into the next, no delays, no hanging about. It worked really well from that point of view.
I think it was a super rally anyway. What you think, Andy? Like we said it at the ramp there with you, Kevin. Like it was really, really good rally. It flowed through nicely. Everything worked fine. Really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'd agree. It was a tough rally though. Like it was, you know, when you look at it, you kind of go, "Oh, here, look at is it really an international rally or around the tarmac championship when there's only one day?" But it was a lot tougher than like a normal 3x3 national rally. The recce was long because you're recce in 5 stages. So you're trying to get recce 5 stages in one day. So straight away you're kind of tired before you even start the rally. An awful lot of notes, an awful lot of fresh tarmac to run over. In fact, you're only getting 2 passes over them. Like, so it was a big challenge, I thought. A lot of places you could have went off, a lot of bumps, a lot of kind of, you know, dodgy spots in it. A lot of places where you're going from high speed into low speed and that kind of stuff. So it's enjoyable. Like when you get it all together and you get it right, like it is enjoyable. And parts of the stage there where they're nice and flowing and fast, I thought it was class, like, you know. So
the stages were unreal.
Yeah, very well organised as well. To be fair to the guys, really, really well organised, you know. So,
and that service area, like that's world class. Never mind, you know, really good in this country. It would grace any service area in the whole country or in the whole world.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Yeah, it's perfect. You just come off the dual carriageway and you're in. Not in around towns and all the rest of it. So no, the organisation and all that was amazing. The stages were bananas.
Yeah.
But really enjoyed it. I actually like those kind of busy stages. He does as well. But there was places, really, really wipeout places, which is what I was saying earlier. We had to get to notes. Absolutely, there's a lot of video work went into that weekend.
Mm-hmm. And like, is that done online or do you spend time together doing that?
Yeah, well, video. When I say video work, I mean in the night before the rally. We record directly, and then we watch the video. So does everybody. Everybody's doing it pretty much the same now. But it's just where it's at. You know, you have to. I remember Craig telling me that in 21. He said you have to be literally learning the stages now. That's just where it's at. If you're not doing video work and you can punch in the fastest time, you're absolutely amazing because everybody is doing it. Do we like doing it? No. Do we nearly hate doing it? Yes. But it's just where it's at. But it's very time consuming. You know, like you're after doing a full day of recce and you need to eat and you need to get organized for the next day, but you have to sit down for 2.5 hours. You know, however long it is, it could be more to do the video work, but it pays off when it.
Yeah, to be fair to Tom, you run a great show. Like Mikey was saying, it just means it takes one thing massively off your mind, which is Tom will look after the car and everything else to do with it. You know, he's not there asking you how long a service or anything like that. He's not asking for fuel or anything like that. He's just, you come in, get out of the car, go off and do your thing. You come back with it, but as Mikey said, a minute or minutes, 2 minutes to go, jump into the car and drive off again. And you don't have to think about anything else. Like, so in fairness, Tom, he runs a great show that way, you know. And he's always very calm, Mikey, isn't he?
Always very calm. No, but to be fair, he is usually really, really calm, and everything is very composed, which is nice because you know it's a high stress environment, and you don't need people being high stress because we're all bad enough as it is. So he operates everybody, and no, it's amazing. Like it's the best I've ever seen.
He's always calm with Mikey because Mikey doesn't make as many mistakes as I do. So I usually get the brunt of it.
To be fair, you were around him longer though, so he can give you a bit of a roasting better than me. It's coming my way though. It's coming my way.
Someday you will. Yeah, I've got a few now. So, to be fair, nearly all self-inflicted, so I can't say much.
No, everyone is so nice in the Gahan camp. Like everyone's so helpful and stuff. As I said, you know, there's so much going on. You need people to be helping you because we're literally jumping out of the car, going into the truck to eat, going on the video, and getting back into the car. So there, you know, stuff has to be done in that 20 minutes outside of the truck as well. There needs to be water in the car. You know, there's rubbish in the car from the last time. There's this and that. So there's people just looking after all that. It's amazing. If you were to put like a time lapse happening and what's actually going on in the tent there, I'd say it'd be unbelievable. That's a good idea. Actually, I might do that someday.
Connor, you want to jump on there?
Yeah, I was, you know, from listening to the chat we've had the last couple of minutes, like, you know, for an amateur sport, the level of commitment, of time, of professionalism and turnaround that's required from everybody, you know, as you're saying, you've 20 minutes and you're trying to, you know, get a bite to eat, you're trying to watch the rerun of the stage from earlier. Like, you know, Andy, there's an awful lot going on there for, you know, an amateur sport.
Yeah, there is the whole thing, Connor. Really, there's an awful lot going on. Like the amount of testing and stuff that's done as well. You know, trying to get these things right, and like the whole thing that goes with it. Even like sending people out to see what the weather is like and that kind of stuff. You know, in service, trying to get a feel for tires and everything else. Like, it's funny. Like it's just constantly going more and more and more towards like what the professionals are doing. If you know what I mean, compared to like I know it was different level when I started rallying. Like, well, like you know, it was just whatever, you know, you might have a service crew, you might not. You'd put on whatever tires that you had kind of lying around, that kind of stuff. And then, you know, I would maybe seen the next level up, and it's just like you've gone 3 or 4 or 5 levels up now at this stage. And as you said, the amount of commitment that's gone into it, the amount of effort that goes into it, the amount of people it takes, even like, you know, I can't remember, Mikey, but how many people Tom had there the weekend. There was a massive crew of people there, you know, looking after everything. Crew. Yeah. So it is, like I said, Connor, it is mad, like how professional it's getting. What I find actually for myself is I just find it puts more pressure on me in one sense, because everything else is covered off. It's almost like there's nothing else is going to go wrong here. So anything that's going to go wrong, Andy, yourself, if you know what I mean. Like, so you just feel like that it's such a big circus now at this stage, and there's so much time, money, and effort going into it that you really can't afford to make a mistake. Like, you know, so not that you ever want to make a mistake anyway, but it feels like that, you know, there's massive amount of pressure to get it right.
Yeah,
people don't realize it all. Yeah.
Yeah, Mikey, no, we were talking earlier, you know, about the constant development and tweaking and looking for the next, you know, split second of performance. But you know, it is a rocket race. Like we've seen now that Callum's introduced the Skoda, the Tarmac Championship. If you look at the BRC, the Yaris has now appeared. Like, you know, how much are you constantly looking over your shoulder, such to see what the opposition's doing and working out, okay, where do you go to next then to compete with them?
Yeah, you know, I suppose the sport would want to be careful too in one way. This might sound weird now, but it has to be kept at bay as well, because if too much stuff starts coming in, and it's like the video work, you know, Keith always says, but when he started, there was no video work, and that was introduced to him. But there's always something more being added, and, you know, something will have to give eventually. You know, I was talking to people over the weekend who compete a lot in the World Championship, and, you know, people aren't getting sleep out in the World Championship now with, you know, watching videos till all hours of the night. And so what I mean by that is it needs to not go beyond its means, because people will, you know, get sick of it, or, you know, start making mistakes. And there's a line where, okay, that's fine, we're having fun now, and it's really fast, and you know what I mean. If there was you know, I don't know, I'm going off in one, but it has to stay within its means, or it just won't be enjoyable anymore. It's really good now, it's amazing, but everything is getting faster, and the workload is getting more. Out in Ceredigion now the weekend, it'll be, you know, there'll be qualifying and this thing and practice and more stages and more video. It's a stressful game. I think it should stay somewhere.
You don't want it to become like a chore to do it. It wants to be
Yeah,
something that you're going
that's
to
kind of what
enjoy doing. Yep.
Yeah, you know, because we enjoy it, but there'll come. But do you agree with me, Andy? Are you getting what I'm saying? Or not?
Yeah, if it was winning all the rallies all year, I'd say. No,
No,
I 100%, Mikey. I agree with you. You know, like, I suppose I would have had a bit of an insight into the WRC with Craig, and got out to do gravel and stuff and helping him out. I was just watching what he was at, what Scott was at, and what teams are at. Like, and I remember at the time looking at it, going, oh, I don't know if this would be for me. Like, I was never on the career path to become a WRC co-driver by any stretch, but I was kind of saying to myself, I'm kind of glad I'm not, if you know what I mean. I was like, geez, this. Like, I got into the sport years ago for wanting to go as part of, you're no different yourself, Mikey, to go hard in the car and enjoy yourself on the stages and stuff. But now, like, the WRC has gone so far, there's so much outside of that, as you said. There's DVD work and raking all hours of the day and all, like, that kind of stuff. I did Portugal last year, like in the recce. I think we were starting at 6:30 in the morning and getting back at 10 and half 10 at night. And then
that's not fun. That is not fun at all. And, like, if people out there are watching,
of it,
that is not fun at all. That is horrible.
Yeah, so, like, suddenly, like, you realize that you're on the stages for whatever it is, you know, maybe whatever it is over the course of the WRC weekend. It might be 2 hours of drive or 3 hours of driving max, but you're there for 8 days maybe, and you're kind of going, you know, like, is the balance?
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much. It is too much.
So you wouldn't like to see it going like that here. I agree with you, Mikey. The likes of the one in nationals here are brilliant.
They're super.
You tip down Saturday morning, do your recce, it's all finished, have a bit to eat in the evening time, up in the morning, do your rally, get home that evening, and it's all very simple, very straightforward. And that's lovely. The tarmac grounds are nice. You just wouldn't like to end up like the WRC thing where, as you said, you're spending 8 days, and the week before probably prep it as well, you know.
There's absolutely no need for that to happen, because you know, it's been so good all along. There's no need to add this extra pressure. As you said, go out there doing recce from 6:30 in the morning till 10 at night. That is not fun. You know, yeah, you're out in these, you know, beautiful countries and everything is very shiny and all the rest of it, but that's not fun when you're doing that week in, week out, especially, you know, trying to live a normal life outside of that. You know, trying to get extra days off work and stuff. You know what I mean? A lot of people out
teaching here and there.
The odd bit. You know, but it's hard. You know, it puts pressure on everything. You know, trying to buy houses and build houses and trying to convince the bank that you're going to be in work next week.
But this is, you know, you need a lot of very understanding people, not just at the rally, at home as well, and work life as well too. You know, they have to understand that, you know, you need this time away, you need this, you know, to spend the evening at a DVD rather than, you know, going out for dinner or whatever. You need all those people in the background as well.
It's funny, people, you know, people obviously who aren't into the game don't don't understand fully the crack because, rallying is so bizarre you couldn't even begin to explain it to them. But I would often get like, oh, just fine for you heading off on a bit of a holiday now to Donegal for the week. I'm going to Donegal working harder than I do in work. You know what I mean? It all looks lovely on Facebook afterwards, a lovely photograph and the whole thing. But there's a lot of work goes into it, and people don't realize. And then on top of that, being actually, doing the rally, the speed in the cars and the danger, it's very exciting and all the rest of it. But it is at such a level, like it's, geez, you come on Monday, you're like, jeez, and go again the following Thursday.
And does it take an understanding boss? Does it, you need time off work, and like say now Ceredigion's coming up, that's going to be another 4 or 5 days off work. Donegal, it's probably turned in now almost to a week off work.
Well, I'll tell you now a quick one. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going off to Ceredigion now, and I work in a national school, so I've been off all summer, and I'm going to miss the first 2 days going back after the summer, going to a new class, a whole new regime. So I'm going to give a big shout out to my principal, John Burke here. Hopefully we're going to tag him in this. But I've had 2 very, very understanding principals in the last 8 years, because if it was me, I'd have fired me a long time ago. But it does, because if you don't have an understanding boss, it just isn't possible. There is just no way that, come June, that you can say, I actually need to leave on a Monday. I'll be back the following Monday. Cheers.
Yeah.
To do what? Go racing cars. What? That's the reality. What kind of racing? Like hot rodding, or what kind of thing is it? Oh, car rallying. Okay.
Yeah. You obviously have a bit of an advantage working with the Celtic, but still, the work has to be done, and it has to be done by somebody. And if you're not there, and it's not done, or it's building up for you coming back again.
Yeah, exactly, Kevin. Yeah, I suppose I'm looking enough at the role. I mean, I'm fairly flexible, and I can kind of move things around and kind of be there when I need to be there, and then get away when I need to get away. But still, yeah, it's a good bit of time away and that kind of stuff. And what I find it is, like, I probably haven't taken like a normal holiday as such, like whatever you might call a week in the sun or whatever it is. I don't know, in
April.
6 or 7 years probably. I'd say. I can't remember, like, really, to be honest with you, because all the days that you can get away, you're rallying, and you get very little then, like, to do anything else, like. So it's a big commitment that way, and the amount of weddings and weddings and parties and all the rest I've missed is it's gone off the charts at this stage. So yeah, it is a big commitment that way, but when the whole thing comes together and you get a good year of it, you get a few wins and championship win or something like that, it makes it all worthwhile. So Mike will know all about that now in a couple of months' time. It'll all be worthwhile.
I spent my first wedding anniversary out at the Grampian with Keith. Thanks, Ellen.
Romantic.
Yeah. We had a lovely little house rented and everything.
Yeah. She was at home when you were there.
Exactly right.
Yeah, Keith had the rose buttons out for you, did he?
He did. They were lilies, actually, but yeah.
But Mikey, often hear about the drive for 5 and all. Like, is there a determination to try and clinch the title this year, the BRC?
Hey, look, there always is. To be honest, the British Championship didn't go fully to plan, but we're not finished with it yet. We're gonna keep going through. Look, if nothing else, this year we're gonna try and get through all the events. And to be fair, we clocked up a lot of pace notes this year, which is an important thing to have, because the more pace notes you have, the easier it makes recce's going forward if they use the same stages. So we're gonna try. We're gonna go to Ceredigion now. It's 2 rounds, and we'll give it our best. The last time we were there was 22. We were actually leading the rally, but we had quite a big accident over there. So there's a bit of a chip in the shoulder going over there after you have a big accident. But it is a super rally, and it's looking to be a super rally. It's around the ERC and stuff. So we're looking forward to it. But yeah, we're going to give it a go. Look, if it happens, amazing. If it doesn't, maybe next year, who knows? But we're gonna go and finish out the rallies anyway.
I spoke to Jimmy McRae there the other day, and he's keeping a tight eye on you. He's a bit concerned if you just get 5, he might have to go for 6. So
he's amazing, isn't he?
He is.
Was he 80 doing the Grand Prix? And he was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's something else, isn't he? He's unreal.
But like,
Maybe
Andy,
we
that
should
is-
leave him alone with his 5.
Yes.
Such a nice guy, like.
But like there is such great characters within this sport, you know, like right from the young generation right through to the likes of Jimmy McRae, Cathal Curley, Andrew Nesbitt, these guys, and they're such a lifeblood to the sport.
Sure, the biggest one of them all is MJ.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. What a character. Yeah.
Some stories of MJ, yeah, to be fair to him, yeah. And look, what's called it's a great sport that way. The amount of people that you meet, I just find, I think myself, Mikey spoke of this before. You end up in places that you never would be otherwise, and talking to people and meet people that you'd never meet otherwise, if you know what I mean. It's such a kind of diverse cross section of everything, like, So, I've been lucky enough to do a good bit of rally out in the States, and you end up in parts of America where you never would be otherwise, and meeting people that you'd never lay eyes on otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
And the same here, like, so it's great actually in that sense. And for me, it's been good actually with business and that kind of stuff. A good few people that I rally with, we've kind of been working with it separately as well. Like, so Josh obviously being the real obvious one, a combi lift being a key customer of Keltec, like, so lots of connections that way as well. So it's been very good in that sense. But like I said, plenty of good characters. I've had a few good nights now listening to stories off MJ, and Jesus Christ, he'd listen to them all night.
Yeah, for sure. Connor, you want to jump on there before we wrap it up?
Yeah, just I suppose, Andy, what's the plan now going to Cork for the Tarmac Championship? A real outside chance?
I actually don't know. Mathematically, do we have an outside chance still?
I don't know. I don't think so. No, I think it's really.
I wouldn't.
Matt,
I wouldn't think so.
Matt has a very, very outside chance of doing it. I think.
Does he still? Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's.
Right.
Yeah.
I suppose for us, probably maybe try and get third. I think I'm not sure what we have to do the maths to see what we'd have to do to get third out in the championship, behind Keith and Callum. It really depends on Matt, really. I suppose I know he has a couple of DNFs and that kind of stuff, so we want to go through that. I suppose Connor and see. Probably more importantly for Josh at the minute is the national. Is to try and get a good run in Galway Summer with Keith. And then going out to go up to Donegal Harvest, then finish out the year there and see if he can clinch that. I suppose probably after the Stone Shores win there, that gave him a bit of a boost. I think the pace at the weekend there in Ulster should give him a bit of a boost as well. So he'll be hoping to try and clinch that. I was trying to convince him to do Wexford as a warm up for Donegal, but unfortunately he's away on holiday, so that didn't work out for me.
We better give Wexford the plug from here. 2 days.
Oh, and now that you say it, I wasn't going to mention Wexford, but you look at. No, look, the plans are coming out well for Wexford. We've just under 170 entries in, including juniors and historics. So we hopefully will start a full field. It'll be a small reserve list. Entries close on the 29th. So if anyone's thinking of getting an entry in, you do still have time to get it in. And please do get it in either this week or early next week. And we'll get you seated properly and all the rest. There is €10,000 prize money, 5,000 for the overall winner of the rally, 5,000 for the top modified, and then also there's a free entry for next year's rally for the winner of the historic section. So that's a total end of over €11,000 in prizes in a prize fund. There's €2,700 prize fund for the marshals. So we do still need marshals. If there's anyone out there that would like to come down, please do get in touch with Paul, our chief marshal. Details are on Facebook, or you can register your details there, and Paul will get in touch with you either. So we are a bit short on marshals still. We do have a month to go, so we're not too worried just yet. But anyone that's interested in coming down, please do come down. Entries have been coming in good, as I said. We have, I think, 29, or actually maybe today 30 R5 cars in / Rally 2 cars. I think 34 started on the Gaul this year. So for a small rally like Wexford, for a non-national, non-tarmac ground, to potentially have 30 on the entry list, that's brilliant. So we're delighted with that. It should be nice competitive at the front end of the field. A good few drivers doing warm-ups for Donegal Harvest, and a few top-end national guys there. So we're hoping to have a nice competitive rally. And yeah, look, in terms of stage and that kind of stuff, the lads are well ahead of the game. They've got their safety plan done and approved by Worsport Ireland. It's 3x3 Saturday and Sunday. Stages are picked by active drivers, with drivers in mind. trying to, I suppose, maybe make the rally as competitor friendly as we can. Stages that people want to drive, minimal chicanes, a bit of driving in them, something kind of like Ulster the weekend, where it's all about the driving and not about blasting down straights into chicanes and that kind of stuff. For anyone that is tight for time, it is possible to do recce in one day, and Graham, the COC, will facilitate that. So if anyone wants to potentially come down Thursday evening, recce Friday, rally Saturday, rally Sunday, and go home Sunday night and be back and work on Monday morning, that's possible also. It will be a long day recce on the Friday if you want to do that, but we'll let you do it, or Graham will arrange with you to do it, and it'll it'll just maybe take a day less off work for some people. So overall, yeah, that's it. As I said, it's coming on well. Graham Scallon is a driving seat of it. Is a COC this year. Unfortunately, Graham had a bit of an injury there a few weeks ago, but he's still absolutely flat out kind of getting it together. And if anything, the fact that he's off work for a couple of weeks probably made it better for us for the rally. So probably give him a bit more time to concentrate toward motorsport. So. He COC the rally in a medical boot last year. He'll COC the medical boot again this year. So to make no fear, Graham.
Geez, and you'll have a reserve list of 100 cars after that pitch.
If you're any good, you'll come down yourselves.
You better have one spare weekend.
Please, no, please.
What's ring key to actually see when they come down to a dam if you bring me.
And Mikie, from your own point of view, this is the first time back in Tarmac Championship since 2016. I know it's been a busy year with the Tarmac and the British Championship, but are you enjoying your return to the Irish Championship?
Oh, I love it. I love doing the Irish Tarmac Championship. The two championships is a lot. It's been a lot since the start. Kind of March, April was really, really busy, and at the moment now is really, really busy again. But we kind of knew at the start of the year that was, well, we didn't know at the start of the year we were going to be doing the two championships, but we knew when we did know that news that there was going to be a couple of tight weeks. But the seat time is huge, which is a really good thing about doing the two. But the return to Ireland has been really good. As I said, the banter with the lads and stuff is great. The rallies are super. You know what I mean? Killarney, West Cork, Donegal, Ulster. They're amazing, amazing rallies. So we're really, and it's easier for us to rally at home, obviously. Less boats and planes and all the rest of it. But yeah, no, we're having a ball. I can't believe it's coming to an end. Andy was on about the end of the championship there. I'm like, oh my God, it was the other day we were up in freezing cold rain up in Galway, and we're coming to the end of the year. That's just bananas.
And it's great to see that our guys, you're going over now to the Ceredigion, you're going to be regarded as one of the the hot favourites. If only a few years ago, our guys going over to the BRC would have been kind of he might get a good result, he might get a podium if things fall for him. Suddenly our guys are the main contenders. It shows that obviously the Irish Tarmac is a good breeding ground now for top class. We can go anywhere and win.
I tell you, the drivers here, Irish Tarmac drivers, are where it's at, to a certain point, because they're well able to go and compete across the water. I suppose there's more gravel happening across the way, but when it comes to tarmac, all the guys here are right up there and well able to handle themselves.
Yeah. And what do you feel that Josh or Sam or Callum or whoever can go anywhere now and compete because the level here is so good?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that the proof is with the likes of Josh McErleen and William. They came over here and think they were mixing it with the best we have in terms of Callum, Josh, Matt, and Keith, and then they go out to the World Championship and they're able to mix it with the best out there as well. So I think they're kind of a good, I suppose, measure of where it's at. And the same with Craig when he did the championship in 2019. We spoke about this before. He came over to the championship, and the lads were able to put it up to him here and there. I know ultimately he won the championship outright, but I think no one disgraced themselves racing them, absolutely. So it is. I think it's very competitive. It's a nice championship as well, if you know what I mean, in the sense that there's a good. Mikie mentioned there's a good atmosphere kind of between the people, between the top drivers and that, and it's not gone to this thing where everyone's in their own camp and, not talking to each other between stages and trying to establish on their back and all that. It's still very much, everyone's kind of in it together, and enjoying it. Like, so, long may it last, really. It's great to see. It's definitely a lot more competitive today than it would have been maybe 10 years ago. And hopefully it continues that way.
Yeah, and finally, I suppose, Mikey, the last word to you. Have you seen that, like since 2016 to 2024, that whole level has gone up 3 or 4 steps?
Oh, it is for sure. It's not like we stopped rallying since
No.
2016, but there's been a couple of gaps. But there's more people able to compete now at the top level. But the speed of the cars, everything, has gone up. Our notes, the speed has gone up. With the cars, everything. Our notes are starting to, to develop now with the cars and the tires and the grip, and it is at a really, really high level. It's unreal.
Once again, thanks very much there to Mikey and Andy. Like, the two guys do talk a lot of sense, and I think, we need to listen. We really do. Next up then, that we spoke to then was Sean Moriarty, we cover a whole range of things, Aoife Raftery, Rali Ceredigion, and then a motorbike rider who was over competing in the Isle of Man at the Southern 100, Anthony O'Carroll, who got badly injured. But, Sean will tell us all about that. But I suppose we need to talk about Aoife Raftery. Like, what a coup this is for Irish rallying once again.
Absolutely fantastic. Look, the WRC Women's Drivers Development Program, there's 15 have been selected for it. Aoife is one of those 15. And it's just an amazing opportunity. They have basically, I think it's a 2-day shootout event in Poland, and they go through a whole range of different things, working with the M Sport crews there in M Sport Poland. And then the top 3 go through to the Central European Rally.
Yeah, isn't it just amazing? Like, we keep going on about the Rally Academy and what it can do. Like, Aoife has been selected as one of the top 15 ladies in the world. This is brilliant. It's really fantastic news.
Look, it is, and testament to the academy, but testament to Aoife herself. Like,
Yeah.
she really has. When you look at the last couple of years, such a short career she's had competing and rallying, and the amount of mileage that she's clocked up, and she's done events in Europe, and at home and in the UK, and really has started to clock in some really solid results as well. Like, again, we talked about the Ulster where we were watching, and she took the class win in the Ulster. So really is coming to the fore. So look, I'm delighted for Aoife. She's been on the podcast a few times, and it's just it's another amazing achievement for an Irish license holder.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And we talked about the Ulster. The battle in the Ulster continues into Ceredigion this weekend now as well. Then too, fantastic to see Callum and Noah making the trip over there as well now too.
Look, it's always good to, I suppose when we heard the ERC was coming to Wales, we were kind of hoping that, we might see 1 or 2 of our tarmac regulars make it over, and it's good to see that is going to be the case. And especially now, Callum, again, we said he's settling into that Skoda, and this should be a fantastic opportunity. Those roads in Wales look fairly smooth, which suit. Fingers crossed, weather stays good, which I think it's on track to do. Could be, you never know, he could upset the apple cart.
And then Matt and Dave as well got over as well too. Another, their luck has to turn. Like, they've had some bad luck in Donegal and then in the Ulster as well. We know their pace. Like, there's undoubted. Like, it's there. It's there. But just sometimes you just need the wee rub of the green as well.
Look, rub of the green, and also look, it's a home event for Matt Edwards. And he's competed there before. And having a bit of local knowledge always helps as well. And Matt's talking about possibly BRC again, going for the championship. Maybe next year, the year after. So I'm sure he'll be wanting to put down a marker if that's the case.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And then like myself and Sean, we cover all the Irish guys who are competing. But like Keith Cronin going for the 5 BRCs. Like, it would be. I think it's a double header this weekend. The Friday into the Saturday's 1 round, and then Sunday's the round 2. I think there's a lot to play for this weekend for the BRC contenders.
Huge, yeah, and don't forget William leading the BRC as well. He's thrown into the mix. But yeah, with regard to Keith and Mikie, they're playing the Joker, so extra points on potentially on offer. And don't forget, it's a double round of points as well. So basically, you have points for the Friday and Saturday, and then separate points again for the Sunday event.
And then never mind that. Then it's just it's going to be epic with these ERC contenders there as well. Like, it's just, how are they going to compare? And then Marion Evans, like, it's practically going past his door at some points as well too. Will the local boy come good?
Yeah, well, listen, it'd be great to see Marion. Definitely pull a win there on home soil. Like tough ask for him, but like
Yeah.
it would be fantastic. And again, Marion settling well into that Yaris too. So things can only keep improving there.
Yeah, and then there's Oisin Price, there's Chris Ingram. There's just so many variables. I'm really looking forward to following this event online.
Yeah, look, it'll be whatever happens is going to be highly
Yeah.
competitive, with the mixture of drivers. And again, you have VRC up for grabs, you have the BRC up for grabs, and we've a very strong Irish contingent who'll be out for their own bragging rights as to who comes out on top.
Yeah, because we haven't even mentioned John Armstrong, like John Nolan there as well too, so that's going to be very interesting to see how they all stack up against each other. Like, I don't ever remember like getting this opportunity to see so many guys, from so many different championships all coming together like this. I think it's going to be, the Irish guys, the British guys, and the European guys, how they'll all compare against each other.
Well, that's it. Like, it's something we always hope for. We look at the rounds of the Irish Tarmac Championship, and we look at the calendar then for the RC and the WRC, and we were lucky. Will Crichton came out and he competed, at the beginning of the championship this year. It was great to see him. But I know Josh has tried to put deals together for Donegal or for the Ulster, and they just didn't come to pass. You've had a couple of other competitors again. I know it's something John Armstrong would have loved to have done, and we just never got the opportunity to pit our tarmac regulars against our ERC regulars against our WRC regulars. And this is the opportunity, and will. So, like, the bragging rights for who's going to be coming out on top,
Yeah,
I don't know if I could call it.
no, oh no, I'm not even going to try. And then, in Rally 3, Eamon Kelly is making a return as well too, which is great to see. And he's got Rory Kennedy on the notes. What a great story! Like, I just think that's class. Rory. I'm sure Rory wouldn't want us telling his age, but he's knocking up the years. But like, that's just brilliant for him to get in there along with Eamon, and still has a desire and the love of rallying to want to do that as well too.
Look, Rory's a seasoned competitor. He's a huge amount of mileage under his belt. And again, fantastic opportunity for Eamon. There's somebody to continue to learn from as well, So, when you're in a car with somebody at that level, you can't but learn from them.
That's for sure. And then Rally 4, like, I don't know where we even start or even go there, Like, we have the best of Irish, the Irish, the tarmac guys, the national guys, then there's the European, the BRC, the Stellantis. I don't even know how you're going to be able to keep track of it all.
I don't know either, but I know I'm looking forward to it. It's
Yeah.
just going to be a class rally. Really, really genuinely looking forward to it.
That's for sure. Yeah. So hopefully the weather holds up, and it's every bit as good as we hope for. But let's hear from Sean, and he will cover it off far better than we'll ever manage all the different permutations with the Irish crews. Sean Moriarty, you join us once again, and some fantastic news coming out as we were recording this earlier in the week. Aoife Raftery has been selected as one of 15 females to contest a worldwide challenge.
Absolutely, it's a great opportunity for Aoife, and very fantastic news. It's great for Irish motorsport, great for Irish rallying, great opportunity for her. I think, speaking, I suppose, with my Rally Academy hat on, it just shows the work that's going on in the background, that we can bring these, the whole team there can bring these young athletes from, started rallying less than 3.5 years ago to be knocking on the door of the World Rally Championship next month in Poland. Like, the whole country is very proud of her. It's a great achievement. And, she's 1 in 15 chance, I suppose, of making it to the World Rally Championship. And if you divide it down, it's there's 3 places available after Poland. It's probably realistic a 1 in 5 chance, and this is fantastic. Like, you know what I mean? It's and hats off to her. She works hard. She puts in an awful lot of effort behind the scenes. Some of the stuff she does, you hear no other driver doing it, and that's one of the reasons why she totally deserves this. And the very best of luck to her.
Yeah, because even the way she's developed, like whenever we had her on here at the start in the podcast, she's very quiet, very timid. You can just see the way she's blossomed. The way she's so much more articulate. The way she's so much more outgoing. You can just every time you speak to her, she's just getting better and better and better. And the driving talent never made that. Not even touching on the driving talent.
She laughed now about me talking about her, but yeah, you're right, Kevin. She's 2 years out in 2 years out in Europe at the FIA Junior European Rally Championship. It brings you on in every level. The level of competition out there, the level of professionalism that's required across the service area from the moment you arrive at the rally for the recce to the moment the final control or the finish ramp is. There's a whole different level of professionalism, and I think that came to fruit too as well 2 weeks ago. Ulster Rally, her first rally on home soil in a long time, and she won the highly competitive Rally 4 class. And I think we all know that any driver that's capable of winning a Rally 4 class in the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship is absolutely on the pace. And I think that was one of her outstanding drives. In fairness to her, won that class from start to finish in Newry. Keane Caldwell came close towards the end of the rally, but she still won the class. She led from start to finish, and absolutely deserved that. And that's another sign of the work that she puts in the background. And as I say, she's laughing here now, me talking about her behind her back, but it's phenomenal. Great person, great work rate, great interest in the sport. Probably as passionate, if not more passionate than myself and yourself about everything, the history, the people, the events, so yeah, as I say, the best of luck to her. She's done Ireland proud, and she's going to fly the Irish flag for us in Poland in the middle of September, and but we're all rooting for her.
Yeah, no better lady, because and that's only just touching on what the academy has done over the last couple of years. It's just been phenomenal, and Ceredigion coming up now at the weekend just exemplifies that. Like the number of crews it's taking part, flying under the Irish banner. It's just mind blowing.
It's incredible. You've kind of look at the statistics of the whole rally. 25% of the international rally is made up of Irish crews. That's incredible in its own fact. That's 13 crews. 10 of them are representing the Rally Academy. And all three major classes, the Rally 2 class, the Rally 3 class, and the Rally 4 / junior class, are well represented. And on top of that, they're not out there to make up the numbers. Each and every one of them are out there with a goal, with a mission to get a result, to top their timesheets in their individual class, or maybe the one make championship like the Stellantis Cup. They're not making up the numbers. They're out there competing. Yeah. And it's incredible. And in this rally, it's around the European Rally Championship. It's a round of the British Rally Championship. Now, here's a little yarn. Now, I'll just throw this in for the crack. If you remember back in the day, Kevin, we was always, this time of the year, we'd be preparing to go to the Manx International Rally. Mm-hmm. In between Ulster and the Cork 20, there was always an overseas round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship, and it clashed with the British Rally Championship. And I'm just going to put this out there for the crack. Why not Ceredigion be made a round of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship? Because we've got very good reason for that. Yeah. Now, I'm gonna come back to all that now in a minute, because I have a couple of thoughts going on in my head here now. And I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to work in 2 or 3 different rabbit holes on this. And we'll start with William Crichton, the reigning junior World Rally Champion, leading the British Rally Championship and the 6th seed for this rally. Mm-hmm. It's fantastic that we have an Irish driver at the top of the British Rally Championship. Yeah. His chief rival, he's several rivals in that, obviously. You've got the Chris Ingrams and the Miriam Evans, but we're here to talk about the Irish drivers. And his chief rival in that would be Keith Cronin, who is chasing a record-equaling 5th title. Mm-hmm. And the 2 of them are there in the top 10 of this. And they're going to go all out to win. See, Friday night and Saturday night are one rally in the British Championship, and Sunday's a new rally. So they're going to go all out and win a round of the British Rally Championship. William hasn't won a round yet. Keith has won the Jim Clark. Fantastic. Whatever happens, we're in for a magic weekend on that element of it alone. Mm-hmm. Now we'll flip back to the European Rally Championship, and the man that's flying the flag for Motorsport Ireland Rally Academy and Motorsport Ireland at the top level of the RC2 class is John Armstrong in the M Sport Ford. But here's the interesting thing. Now, John is doing very well in Europe. He's probably a bit misfortune in the Czech Republic 2 weeks ago, 2 punctures on the same stage, ended his challenge. But He's a very quick tarmac driver. He's a very good driver on asphalt. But here's the spanner in the works. He's after registering for the British Championship. So what? So is he there to take points off Crichton and Cronin, or is he there to create a buffer between Price and Ingram and Miriam Evans, or what's going on there? But it doesn't matter. Is John Armstrong going to get a British Championship win before William Crichton, or has William Crichton and Keith Cronin now got another carrot to be chasing? And that's a fantastic element to that story in itself.
Yes.
And now we're going to flip back again. We're going to go back to the back end of the top 10. There's a couple of people we need to mention here. And I joked a few minutes ago about the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. Now, Keith Cronin is leading that. Fantastic win in Ulster 2 weeks ago. His main rival is defending champion Callum Devine. Callum Devine has European Rally Championship experience with the back end of the Rally Academy through 2019, 2021 and 2022. He's back for another crack at Europe. And he's chasing his main rival in the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship.
Yes.
We're not finished. In the middle of all them, you've got Matt Edwards and our own Cork man, David Moynihan, co-driving.
Yes.
And you'll have to say that maybe if Matt and David finished the Ulster, they would be considered one of the favourites for the title as well, going into the Cork 20 at the end of next month. However, they'll probably put them on the back foot, but they're not to be discounted. And that's why this rally should be part of the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship as well.
Right,
and
because
that is only
if your top three Irish crews competing in there as well, and
yeah,
it is. If you think of it that way, it is. It's almost a no-brainer, really, isn't it?
Like the top 11 there, every one of them has an Irish story. There's John Armstrong, William Crichton, Keith Cronin, Matt Edwards, and David Moynihan, and of course Callum Devine.
Yeah.
European experience, chasing the British Rally Championship, chasing the Irish Tarmac Rally Championship. These guys are ticking all the boxes, and they've, the majority of them have come through the academy, and that's the amazing thing about it. The academy didn't exist in Keith Cronin's time. He would have been a prime candidate to be selected if he did. All the rest of them, John Armstrong, William, and Callum, are all like academy members.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at in this country, and that's huge kudos huge thanks to John Kine.
And that's not even touching on Josh McGrelean, who's away, showing the world how good he is as well too. That's not even,
Absolutely. I think we were very close to getting nearly all the academy drivers to compete in this rally, but different things fell down. Some of them are gravel rally experts. Josh is chasing WRC2, so on and so forth. But if there was, you kind of rumors, we'll say, inverted commas, rumors that Josh was looking at getting the car over for the Ulster and Kerry again. Fell through, obviously, but he'd been another spanner in the works. Former British junior champion with European experience and Irish experience thrown into the middle of this. But maybe Josh, thanks for staying at home. It's incredible, like that. Yeah. It's brilliant.
Yeah. And then you go into Rally 3. Eamon Kelly.
Sorry, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Rally 3. I thought you were skipping straight to Rally 4, but absolutely Rally 3. Great to see Eamon Kelly there. He's playing his trade in the Junior World Rally Championship at the moment. Has the great Rory Kennedy alongside him. Rory's a former British Rally champion as well, an Irish Tarmac Rally champion. Rory would sit with Eamon's dad, done several times. So that's great experience that's coming there as well. And it's quite unusual to see Eamon on a European Championship rally as well. But nice to see how he'd measure up against the front runners in there. You've got a recently crowned European Championship Philip Cohen, with local enough to that rally, Tom Woodburn co-driver. Eamon Kelly's going to be watching his times to see how he competing against the best Rally 3 driver in Europe at the moment. Mm-hmm. And don't forget, John Armstrong is the outgoing champion in that class. so that's what I say, when you start unraveling the story of this thing here, it's there's so many rabbit holes you can go down, and so many different there's so many talking points about each and every one of the Irish drivers in this rally.
Mm-hmm, that's for sure. And even going beyond that, the COC for the event, Andy Gilmore, a guy that run the Down Rally for years, part of the Circuit Ireland team, and that's it. And then we're going to start touching now on the Rally 4, the junior category as well. It's just a prime candidate for the ITRC, really, isn't it?
And there's another Irish element in the official side of it, because Motorsport Ireland president Aidan Harper is travelling over to the event as well. in his role as the FIA sustainability officer, and he's going there with the whole the green impact, and they're planting more trees for this rally that the fuel and the tires are offsetting. But that's part of Aidan's role on an international level. But to think that we have an official of that senior level operating at European Championship level, it just shows the strength and depth across all aspects of Irish rallying, from officialdom to competitor-wise to drivers, co-drivers, and then of course all these guys have Irish mechanics working for them as well. So it's like Philip Case is out there. He's been running Aoife Raftery in the junior championship for the last 2 years. He's run other Irish drivers like Philip Allen, for example. But here's an Irish team owner out there flying the flag as well, and I know Philip is in Wales next weekend helping Aoife. So and that's another element to this. Like, before we were talking about
M Sport has been traditionally littered with Irish mechanics and engineers, and it's just you couldn't throw a stone in the M Sport factory without hitting somebody from an Irish descendancy.
And that continues to be the case. The man's name escapes me now, but the great auto tester Eamon Byrne, his nephew is currently working for M Sport. So you're dead right. The tradition continues, and I suppose the trip from Dublin to Cumbria isn't that far. It's local enough when you think about it, but it is another element to this thing that we have. We've engineers at this level. So you look at the top drivers there. We mentioned all the Rally 2 drivers. We mentioned all the
Rally 3
drivers. We're going now and talk about the Rally 4s. And if you think I went down a rabbit hole with the top drivers, you better get pen and paper there, listeners, because there's a lot happening here. Aoife Raftery is the top seed there, and she deserves it. She's been competing in the European Rally Championship now for 2 seasons in her Peugeot 208 Rally 4. At one point this season, she was third overall in that championship, which just tells you again the strength and depth that we're dealing with here. Her big news, we spoke about it at the start. She's going out there now as the Women in Motorsport, the ambassador, going into this new development program launched by the WRC promoter. She's going out there. She's been at this rally before. She was there this time last year in her old Fiesta R2 car. Knows the event. But going out there as a completely different competitor, that's a lifetime ago for Aoife. As we said at the start, come on leaps and bounds as a competitor, as a media professional, as a understanding the rules, the regulations. There's so much that's been taken in, and that event 12 months ago is an absolute. She'd admit that herself. It's an absolute lifetime ago, but deserves to be top seed. Jack Brennan makes a return to the European Rally Championship. He spent the summer at home. He just did a few local events. I thought it was very misfortunate that he came up there to the Ulster to Newry 2 weeks ago, and very start of the first stage, I think it was a gearbox or a dry shaft let go. He didn't need that. He needed the tarmac mileage before going to Ceredigion, but he won the Rally 5 class there last year. He'd be familiar with the event. Now, when I say familiar with the event, only one stage carries over from last year, but it helps when you go to a new town and you know where the service park is, and the scrutineering is, and the HQ hotel is. All the little things that take an extra 10 minutes on your first visit to the new location. He'll have all that experience. So that'll help him. Next up, I think, is Keelan Grogan. I might be flitting in the wrong. No, I apologize. Our next man up on the line is Kyle McBride, and Kyle is chasing Stellantis Cup, and he's chasing Junior British Rally Championship honours as well. But there's 2 spanners in the work from our Kyle this week, and he has also registered for the European Rally Championship, but he's not eligible for Junior European because he has elected to go on the Michelin tires to account for the Stellantis Cup, and he'd be obliged to go with Hankook tires to score junior points. But he is registered for the Junior European Championship. That's a nice little span in the works. But here's the clincher. He's not going to the Peugeot 208 Rally 4.
Okay.
He is going to make his debut in an Opel Corsa Rally 4 on Friday evening in Aberystwyth. So another new story there. They're very similar cars. I don't know the right reason behind the change, but it's there, and he's good to go on the Opel. So, as I say, every one of these drivers has a little story to tell. Next up, Ryan McHugh. Irish tarmac champion in Rally 4 class before the Ulster Rally.
Yeah.
That tells its own story in itself. So he had that wrapped up by Donegal, but a couple of weeks before Donegal, you had the Jim Clark Rally. That was his first ever overseas rally. Another class win there in the Rally 4 class. What does that tell you? Yeah, so you're dealing with class acts already when Aoife, Jack, and Kyle. There's another one here, like in the middle of it, and that Rally 4 class in this rally is going to be incredible. And we're not even talking about the regular junior champion, Millie Johansson or Callie Carberg or any of these guys. We're just talking about the Irish guys. Which one of these guys is going to be the top Rally 4 competitor? Keelan Grogan leading the Stellantis Cup.
Yeah.
He'll want to go back to Leitrim next Sunday night, maintaining the lead. So that he's got another carrot in his thing. It's another interesting story. Keane Caldwell made the surprise switch there in midsummer from the Peugeot 208 Rally 4 to a Fiesta Rally 4. Had a good run in the Cork Forestry Rally. Had a good run in Ulster until late mechanical troubles into that challenge. That's okay. He is actually doing, to the best of my knowledge, now I stand correcting this, but to the best of my knowledge, this is his first overseas asphalt event. He did the Severn Valley Rally round of the British Rally Championship earlier on in the year, but that was a gravel event. This is his first international event on asphalt. So that's something interesting, something different. It's and he's thereabouts all the time. He's another one. Yeah, he's leading the Rally 4 class in Killarney and Rally Lakes. Late retirement again, but the pace of this Rally 4 class is beyond. I don't know. Next in line is Callum Graffin. He's been front runner in Britain and Ireland this year. Very young kid.
Yeah, he's only 17, isn't he, or something?
He may have turned 18 through the summer, but it doesn't 17 or 18 years of age. Out there doing these big. See, imagine 17 or 18 years of age, and an Irish driver doing an international rally, European Championship rally, and he's going to be thereabouts because he's been front running all the year. And look, it's not for me to say I don't make these decisions and I have no say in the matter, but I'm sure that he's on the Academy's future hit list with performances like that this year, and especially given his age, because you see, like, every year that the Junior World Rally Championship age limits comes down, the Junior European Championship age limit comes down. You even see in our own country that the Billy Coleman age limit is coming down to allow our Billy Coleman Award winners go towards Europe and world events. So at 17 or 18 years of age, making that kind of an impact, he is certainly not my call, not my decision.
No, but
I know the train of thought that goes on in the background. So I would say keep an eye out on him.
It has to be on the radar, without a doubt.
And another man worth mentioning is Craig Rahal, Ford Fiesta Rally 4. He is leading the Motorsport Ireland Junior Rally Series, that mixed surface championship, and the winner of that will automatically go forward to a Billy Coleman Award nomination. He was a nominee last year. Couple of interesting things here with Craig. He followed that MIGRS program this year, and now leading the championship with 2 rounds to go. Interestingly, he has foregone the Galway Summer Rally, which is on Sunday, to make his European Rally Championship debut. Now, I think he's enough points in hand that if he goes to the Clare Forestry Rally in late September, early October, that he should be okay. But you know yourself, rallying's a female sport and non-finishing in there. But he has taken the big decision to risk it for a biscuit, if you like, and skip Galway to go to Rally Bakery again. Now, this isn't his first overseas event. He did a rally in Portugal in April. Now, that rally in Portugal is probably one of the considered gravel training rallies for European Championship level. And you look back through the years, Josh McGilleen has done it, Philip Allen has done it. They've all, any guy that's going to Europe has done this particular.
This is part of the program.
So Craig has that box ticks already. He's now gone on to tarmac. Same box again. Tick a high-profile international rally, risking his MIGRS. I think he's safe enough. That's a good story as well.
Yeah, and the fact that these young guys and girls are prepared to go for there and put their name to something that that they feel that they have the confidence to go and do that they're not going to be embarrassed. This, like, the academy and the way everyone's promoting the sport, there's nobody now afraid. Oh, I wouldn't be good enough to go over there and compete. We are good enough to compete. We are good enough to win anywhere.
Absolutely. We are operating from RC1 level in the World Rally Championship. And I'm talking about Aaron Johnson operating at RC1 level in the World Rally Championship. Josh and William at RC2 level. Eamon Kelly at RC3. You move into RC4. RC4 is where the juniors are at in the European Rally Championship. Aoife, Jack, Craig now knocking on the door. All these guys are going to knock on the door. Keelan Grogan, Keane Cabell, they're all probably coming down there, and eventually you're going to have young Graffin. So they're all coming through the ranks. Interesting, like one of the things that's very interesting about the whole thing here is the winner of the Stellantis Cup is going to get a full program of junior European Rally Championship action next year. And Keelan Grogan at the top of the pile here at the moment. Now, his main rival down there is going to be Ian Lyde, like local rally to him and everything else. But as we go into the back end of the season, it's a County Leitrim man at the top of the pile, and that's.
And I thought Keelan drove the Grumpin Rally with a really mature head on. Like he didn't go for the prize of trying to be the fastest junior BRC contender. He drove with the Stellantis Cup in mind. I thought that was very mature.
And I think he'll do the same here this weekend, and he'll leave the various drivers off if Keane Cadwell is running in front of him, he's not going to get too worried about that. If Ryan McHugh is running in front of him, he's not going to get too worried about that. He won't be worried about Aoife or Jack because they're on Hankook tires, so they're not going to affect his performance. He's going to be watching directly what's around him, and that's the likes of Ian Lyde would be the prime example there. Robert Proudlock, people like that. That's his area of. Obviously, Kyle McBride is an important part of it there. Kyle was probably unlucky, had an accident. They happen, when you're sticking your neck out and you're driving at 10-10, these things happen. But it's not probably the ideal frame of mind to be going back into another rally and being on the back foot as well, you know what I mean? So, Keelan keeps his head, it's his. But this is a serious one-make championship, and, I don't know who could you pick, and, they're all sound lads, they're all good young fellas, and it'll be sad to see some fella not winning as opposed to happy to see some fella winning, if you know what I mean. And that's kind of the way it looks.
And the Kerrod again, like it's come from nowhere to ERC status in a very short time. But it's that's not taken away from the event. It thoroughly deserves it. But it shows what can be done with the right people involved.
Yeah, I think 2019 was the first time this rally ran, and it was the first closed road rally in kind of the mid to North Wales area, based out of the University town of Aberystwyth. It's tourist town as well, so it has got the hotel accommodation and the seafront and all the rest of it. It actually reminds you of being on the Isle of Man and Douglas and places like that. So I'm back to my first story here. This should be part of the Irish Rally Championship. But you've got it started off as a club rally, and do you know what I thought was very interesting? I was there last year, and I would say particularly two rallies down this end of the country, West Cork and Wexford, and over the years they always had a huge Welsh contingent coming over and doing those two rallies. Wexford particularly, it's just the other side of the boat, and Cork, West Cork. There's always a huge Welsh crowd in West Cork. But I was over there on the other side last year, and I met a heap of lads, loads and loads of lads. There were Welsh lads that I knew from Clonakilty or I knew from Wexford. And I was on their patch for the first time. And I said, this is special, and it's good that there's such an Irish contingent here, either working on the event or competing on the event or helping out, because Aidan Harper and John Naylor were there last year as well in FIA steward or safety officer capacity. So there's Irish involvement across all levels in that event. And I just thought it was special because, these boys have been coming to us for years and years
forever,
and years. And here we are. I suppose it's worth mentioning because it's exactly what I'm talking about. Is if you go into the national rally and there's 3 Irish co-drivers involved in the national rally, and they're worth mentioning because it's exactly what I'm talking about here. And the first one I'm going to mention, even though not in seeded order, is recently crowned Irish Tarmac Historic Rally Champion Tomas Davis. He's from that part of Wales. That's a local rally to him. He's been over to do the Circle Kerry. He's been over to do the Rally to Lakes, to West Corks. Won in Wexford. He was second in Ulster 2 weeks ago. Clinched the title, and he's Kerry-man Shane Buckley alongside him for this rally. And himself and Shane would have finished third overall in the Circle Kerry, 18 or 19, the exact year escapes me, but they've had a successful partnership. I'll also mention Wayne Evans, the Saturday loop of this rally, which goes down into the kind of Carmarthen district, south of Aberystwyth. That's Wayne Evans territory. That's Gwyndeff Ready Mix Evans, as we call him, as opposed to Gwyndeff the Garage Evans. So Gwyndeff Ready Mix Evans. Wayne is Gwyndeff's son. Gwyndeff Evans has been coming to Ireland for 40 years. He won the Circular Kerry in 1993. Wayne has been coming for, I think Wayne has won the Carlow Challenge, the Mark II Challenge in Carlow, and he's local man from that part of the world, Kilkenny man, John Smithy alongside him. So 2 Irish co-drivers involved there. In the Welsh lads that have been coming over to us, and kind of brings the full circle of what I was talking about, how it's special to be involved in this rally.
Yeah, and another man we probably should mention, Miriam Evans. He has supported the Tarmac Championship for the last 4 years now at this stage, and we always joke with him. We should be calling him Miriam O Evans because he has been such a strong, staunch supporter of our championship as well too, and it's right on their doorstep, this event now too.
Yeah, I remember from his junior days and his junior 1000 days, and he was known as Mary Evans, so that name might come back. Yeah, the Irish drivers and the juniors had christened him that, and but it's a local rally to him as well. And I do recall last year when you come down off the ferry in Holyhead and you start coming down through mid Wales and you're heading to places like Doggeclough and Lampeter, all these areas, big Welsh rally territory, but you're passing Gwyndeff Evans Garage, you're passing Melvin Evans, so all these are famous towns that are famous rally towns, are famous, Wales Rally GB. The main roads linking Holyhead to Aberystwyth are the road sections of Rally GB, and you're passing all these famous businesses that are ultimately connected with Welsh motorsport, and it's a bit like being in Donegal or Kerry or something like that. Everyone around here is
there's so many names. It's so familiar household names to us.
And so absolutely, Miriam Evans is he'd love to win on home side. Of course he would, and give the Toyota its first tarmac win in Britain. And there's one other layer of stories with that.
For sure. And we know what a community we have in motorsport, rallying, but motorsport in general. And you're asking for the motorsport family to come together now for good, not just in rallying, but the motorbike side of things. We're all one big happy family, really.
Yes, I suppose I'll tell a story here now that down in this part of the country, down in County Kerry, we've a large number of people that are very involved in motorcycle racing. It's one of the strongest counties for the sport in the country. Over 20 riders, either regularly at Mondello Park or competing on the roads. We have a rising star down here. His name is Anthony O'Carroll. Anyone involved in Kerry Motorsport or Munster Motorsport would indeed know the O'Carroll family. They're long-time members of Kerry Motor Club. And his father, Neil, is the former chairman. Always could be counted upon to block a gap or marshal junction, whatever. But great motorsport people. And Anthony was one of the rising stars of road racing, best newcomer in the Manx Grand Prix last year. But unfortunately, he was involved in a very, very serious accident in the Southern 100 in July, 8 or 9 weeks ago now, and he's still in a very serious condition in a hospital in Liverpool. Now, the local community, he's from a small village in North Kerry in Ballyduff, and the local community wanted to do something for the family because his parents, Neilus and Mary, are by his bedside. They're paying hotel bills and all the other expenses that go with staying in a strange town. And the local community wanted to do something, but it was decided that a number of clubs would get together. So you've got various things like the Kerry Motor Club. Anthony did a bit of rallying and hill climbing down here as well. So the Kerry Motor Club, the Ballyduff Vintage Club, the No Hopers Motorcycle Club, and the Kerry Motorcycle Racers. So there's four different elements have come together to create a weekend-long event on September 13th, 14th, and 15th. A celebration of motorsport, rallying, bikes, classic cars, vintage cars, music, discos, raffles, barbecues, every sort of thing going on to help raise the necessary funds to keep this family comfortable, and I suppose eventually get this chap home and get him back on the road to recovery. Mm-hmm. And most people know me, but I'll just call up my number there if anyone wants to have a chat. It's 087 677 1019. That's 087 677 1019. Give me a shout and I'll put you in the right direction. And we'd love to see we're going to have a static display of rally cars on September the 14th in the village, and we're calling on all rally cars in County Kerry, Cork, Limerick, Clare, or neighbouring counties. Put them up in the trailer, come away down for the day's crack, and support this family. And thanks for the plug on that, Kevin. It's an important event for.
Aye, because the motorbike crew, they are they're a different breed, but they are part of of this family. We think of the Dunlops. Like I'm originally a County Antrim man. Like I grew up in their backyard, and the dedication, the determination of all road racers, they're a different level. The commitment is something serious, and it'd be so good to be able to give something back to one of the heroes.
I think it's a very unique situation that we're in Ireland, and you mentioned road racing. We talk about rallying a lot, and we talk about the closed road motorsport is such a part of the culture of this whole country. Whether it's the bikes, whether it's the cars, or hill climbing, and sometimes we're so far under the radar that they don't realize. People that are not involved in the sport don't realize how big we are, but it's so unique to this country that we have this level of closed road motorsport, and we're kind of going to full circle on the conversation. And our closed road motorsport people are operating at the top of the world. And you mentioned the Dunlops there, Michael Dunlop, record TT winner, fastest man around the island, and the rally man. So it's incredible,
And we're back to the Isle of Man again.
And we're back to the Isle of Man again, So there's no escaping it, Maybe the Isle of Man should be made the 33rd county. That's a bit controversial now, but we look after the right,
But Sean, so anybody that wants to get involved, either give you a shout. There's there's a Facebook page there and all too, and GoFundMe page. They're not difficult to find, and no matter how large or how small, every little helps.
Yeah, and you'll see there's an update being published this week on my website, Kerry Motorsport News. So you'll see the latest update. And I suppose it's worth mentioning that I was in Mondello Park over the weekend for the penultimate round of the Irish Short Circuit Racing Championship. And Anthony started his career you have to go to Mondello before you're allowed next to the road. So all the guys up there knew Anthony, and the Superbike champion, the Super Sport champion, the Super Twin champion, the big names from Mondello are all coming to Ballyduff to support us in 3 weeks' time. So, it's great to see that they're coming. And we're trying to get a few rally drivers and just have a meeting of minds. And so we're all from the same family. We're all part of this bonkers Irish motorsport. There's room for all of us. And let's have a meeting of minds with the short circuit racers, the road racers, the rally drivers, the hill climbers, the drifters. They're all coming. And of course, your classic car enthusiasts who everyone has. Nearly all of us have some bit of a vintage yoke in the shed now at this stage that we take out for runs during the summer. So it's all part of it,
Yep. Thanks very much there to Sean. And if you can help out in any way with that Anthony O'Carroll fund, please, even if it's just go along on the day with your car, your rally car or whatever, it's so important that we support that fund. That's going to be such a, that guy suffered life-changing injuries, and anything we can do, it'll be vital. Also then now this weekend we have the Galway Summer stages, Ballinasloe area, 9 stages, and what a lineup is going to be there. It's the penultimate round of the Tritonshires National. The championship's by no means getting any clearer how it's going to. This weekend might be the one that maybe starts to shape it, but hard to know how it's going to go.
Very hard to know, genuinely hard to know. And with Josh and Sam out against each other again, and Josh back to the C3 as well for this.
Yeah, and Eddie Doherty, Eddie's been putting in some stirring runs this year. He's just been getting stronger and stronger in them national rounds. So, could he sneak a one maybe on Sunday? You just don't know. So, Declan Boyle out in the Skoda, first time out there too. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he settles into that. And then Kevin Eves out in the Fiesta. It'll be. I know he had it out for a run in Ballykelly there at the weekend, and seemed to settle in well there too. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting just to see how he settles in, because Gary Kieran just took a while to adapt, but Gary was starting to come good there just before the summer break and that too. So, yeah, it's just once again there's just so many variables and so many ifs, buts, and maybes there. It's going to be. We're going to be busy on Sunday trying to keep track of Ceredigion and Galway Summer.
Oh, look, it's going to be busy. All right. Another interesting one to see is James Stafford out in the Darien as well to give Kevin Gallagher a run for his money.
Yeah, and no doubt, he's making it's a warm up for Wexford, because it's been a while since he's been out now in the and we know his pace. Like he has won Wexford outright. Never mind the 2-wheel drive. Like, so, if things start to click there, and Kevin, we can see what he done. Donegal. Whenever things really go well, he can be very, very fast. Like, almost fast as overall Knockalla, only for a spin. In the last corner. It's like, yeah, those Darians can boogie whenever they want to.
Oh, look, when the conditions are right, and the weather and stuff, yeah, they're incredible. The speed, I don't know. I don't know if I could ever sit in one. I really don't. Like, those onboards are hairy.
Yeah, the two onboards that Kevin put up from Donegal, Knockalla, and Garton and Sunday. If anybody has never watched it, go and watch it. It's like, oh my god.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not often I'd close my eyes on it. Watch
No.
the
But yeah, let's hear from Kevin O'Driscoll, who gives us an overview of the event. So the penultimate round of the National Championship is upon us now this weekend, Galway Summer. And again, it's been a fascinating championship. And Galway always throws up a curveball. It's never a simple rally. It's always a real challenge for crews.
Yeah, whether it's Galway in February or Galway in August, September, it doesn't matter. Whether it's as hairy as it has been for the past few days. You might as well be running in February. But yeah, it should be an interesting one. It's actually it's a popular event. It's 50 years on the go this year as well. So it's typically back in the 90s, when there was multiple rounds of the championship, 14 rounds. It was kind of the first rally. Well, that and the NMC were like the first rallies back when you hit August. July time was always kind of quiet. And when guys started coming back again, the summer rally was always a staple of the national championship, and it still is. So, yeah, it's been 2 years since it ran. It's interesting this year. There's quite a number of entries, about 170 odd entries in as of now. Seating is being worked on as we speak. So, a lot of interest out there at the moment. Now, to be fair, it's looking like a good one.
Yeah, and based in Ballinasloe, and that, we've seen the international base there as well too, and always good stages, and normally, challenging stages, but very compact. You're nearly driving off one stage into the next.
Yeah, particularly well, stage one is kind of on one side of the main road of the N6 is Auckland, which bits of it would have been used in the past, probably not for a number of years. Some of it might have been used in the 2022 international, tiny piece of it on the first stage. But it hasn't been used for a couple of years. The other two stages are on the opposite side of the main road, which should be kind of towards Kilconnell and Woodlawn. I haven't seen stages there myself in a good number of years, probably 10 or 12 years at least, anyway, I think, since they were up that direction. So, yeah, it'll be quite interesting. There'll be tricky stages. The nature of what I've seen of them, and I've driven them, they do look. It remind me of some of the stages that they ran in the international this year, on the Sunday, kind of open, kind of moorland, bogland, kind of, but good surface at the same time, but narrow, could catch you out. So, but very fast in places as well, but not like wide roads, but narrow. They're maybe a hint of the Ulster almost about them in some respects. Certain elements of them.
Yeah, and how vital the sponsors is to the all national rounds as well too. You have a real good sponsor, and everyone's all contained then in the one area as well.
Yeah, it's based on in Ballinasloe, has a Domac Plant and Tool hire premises in Poolboy Industrial Estate, and the new Ballinasloe Mart for the service area, which has been used in the past. I'm not sure, it's been a few years now since it's been used. That's been used, I think. And yeah, again, with sponsors like Bluebird Care, Sean Lyons, obviously ex competitor, or well, Galway Motor Club member as well. Giving back to the club, which is great. And remember Sean's Mark 6 Escort of the 3-litre, 3.4-litre engine. Those the shifters down here spying back in the day. So Sean's do that, and then obviously you have the kick of the Mark II from Group Force Fabrications sponsoring that, and Thorsten Smith behind that. So yeah, it's a lot of interest there. I mean, it's a rally that's all been well supported. Galway in February, as I said, the international, bad weather, this kind of stuff. It doesn't always pull a big entry, but typically speaking, Summer Rally does, and this year's no exception. It is there's quality and quantity in the entry, to be fair.
Yeah, because the national championship this year has been exceptional. Like we've said before about the rotational way it's going now, only 8 rounds. Like it seems to be really working well, because it used to be kind of become this stage of the year. Sometimes maybe entries would start drifting off, but guys are committing to the champions and sticking with it.
They are, and another thing I think is great, and the organisers might not always agree with me on this one, but I think But I think in my expanding the field this year as well to allow for extra cars, 10% extra cars is a help, because it has shortened some reserve lists. And, typically you're going to rallies now with, a sizable number of cars, but you're still starting nearly 150 plus all the time. But at least anybody down to number 170, 175 feels they have a chance of getting in, which is a good thing. And it's been like that for nearly all the rounds this year. I mean, there has been, even if some cases it might only be a theoretical reserve list, but you're still starting a fair quantity of cars, pay a lot of bills with that. So, yeah, it's been pretty successful this year now. And I think the rotational thing is, I would be a fan of it. Maybe one thing I would like to see possibly would be in the rotation is maybe not having the same 8 rallies every single year, but maybe in the next rotation. I know that might mean some rallies might run for 3 years or maybe one back to back. But I think, just to refresh it and have, organize it a bit more. But that's easier. It's easy for me to say from this side. I'm not the one having to put the calendar together. But I do like the idea of the in the way it works. There's 8 rallies in, 8 rallies out, whatever. But whether they should be the same 8 rallies every year, it's just a matter of opinion. I think it'd be nice sometimes just to have a different kind of range of 8 for 1 year, and it's swapped over for the next year. But again, that's probably easier said than done with the availability of dates, and obviously with the geographical constraints as well, and everything else around the internationals and the whole lot. So
And the one thing with Galway is as well too, they have such a vast county as well too, that they are, they can spread the rally around, they can go to different areas as well too. So even every 2 years, it's not just going back to the same stages. There's always a different area, and different areas, different characteristics as well.
There is, I suppose one area that hasn't been touched on for quite a while has been Connemara, because obviously the logistics there is probably just that little bit more difficult. But yeah, you go to Gorching, go to Tuam, Ballinasloe now, Lochray obviously as well as Athenry. So you can spread it out a fair bit. I mean, there's plenty of options for stages. Some that haven't been used for a while. It's just tying them in when you're trying to. It's probably different to before when you could have maybe a remote service or something like that. Whereas now with centralized servicing, it's probably not quite as straightforward to use every single corner of a county or a region within a county. But there's always options out there, and even this year now, for example, going back to a place where they haven't been for 12 or 13 years, is a good thing, So it just makes it a bit more interesting, I think it's people like a bit of change that way too.
For sure. And then, like you talked, there's over 170 entries, and can you give us a wee flavour of who we expect to see on Sunday?
Yeah, just say on top of my head now, I just see that Josh and Sam are currently entered as our seeding hasn't been completed as of yet, but Daniel Cronin is in there. I'm trying to think who else.
Eddie
Now. I think Eddie's there. Declan Boyle is there. Michael Boyle is there. So you have I think James Stafford is there. You have Daniel McKenna, John Dugan. Jonathan Pringle. So good quality entry. That's why I touched the iceberg. There is a lot, and because it's national championship and the guys are and border championship as well. There's all the classes are busy. They're right down through. There's every class is well supported.
Yeah, because that the national championship, and we didn't even touch on the border championship. The way
and the West Coast and the West Coast as well, of course. Exactly.
All those championships all feed in, and each and every one of them classes. It's as good as an overall one to them guys competing, because it's tooth and nail right through the whole class system.
Yeah, it is, and of course, then you throw in the King of the Mark II, as I said, with School 4 Fabrications, where you have an overall escort to win it, or to escort to the top escort, plus your classes 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Which obviously that gives seven different escort drivers, a prize at the end of it, which is very, very good as well, So it's Gary Kieran. It was the king of that for the last 12 years going to run. Gary's won it 3 times. But this year he won't be winning because he's actually he's another fellow I forgot. He's entered in the Fiesta as well, R5. So so he's another guy who'll be challenging.
And James Stafford might have something to say about an escort getting past 14 as well too.
Yeah, there is a couple of Wexford boys into the I suppose warming up for a month later. But exactly. James hasn't been on all the show, I don't think. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. I think it'll be an interesting one. It's looking good at the moment anyhow. As I said, there's 170 odd entries in there. It's looking decent.
Yeah, and we just need the Willard gods to play fair, and it'll be a good day for all.
The chances are happening in Galway now between now and then are very slim, judging by the hurricane that's blowing outside today. But anyway, it's it'll be tricky there. Like Galway is always going to be tricky, and as is a lot of places. I suppose the nature of the roads here are probably just that little bit different. I find in the west to even going down to West Cork or to Donegal and that kind of stuff. It's just a bit different, but look, it all adds to the challenge. At least it won't be dark early or anything like that. This time of year.
So thanks to Kevin there and all our guests this week as well. Great show once again. So that is episode 36, season 3. Connor, we're going to have a lot to talk about next week, so really looking forward to seeing how it all fares out this week. But until then, take care, speak soon, and bye.